I'm visiting my parents' house for the holidays, and I was reminded of two of my earlier woodworking mistakes, and I'd like to pass that information along so you can avoid making the same mistakes. In short, I made my brother this chessboard for Christmas in 1996, and I don't remember the exact year I made this coffee table for my parents, but I made the same mistake with both of them, and some of you may be able to see what that mistake is already. But in short, I did not. I understood the rules of wood movement, but I did not respect them. So I thought that I could get away with restricting with glue and this breadboard end. I thought I could get away with restricting the movement of the wood this way, and the end result was that I got this big crack in the middle. Because after I put this thing together in my humid workshop, I brought it inside, and the wood started to shrink, and over time this crack showed up and never went away. And the reason for this is that because I restricted the wood with this piece here, which is glued across the entire length. I could have avoided this if I took the breadboard end all the way to the end this way, and then you can see that I put a spline in there. So I was thinking kind of in the right direction. I thought maybe I could restrict it with a spline and it wouldn't crack. The spline runs through this way as well. But what I should have done was put that spline in to prevent flexing of the wood in this direction, but then only glued the breadboard end for maybe 7 to 10 inches of the length here. And this chessboard is another example where I did this the easy way. I mean, I can't say it was easy, but I glued up walnut ash, and then I cut them on the radial arm saw and flipped every other row. And that's how I got the chessboard pattern, but all the grain runs in the same direction. So again, I get wood movement this way because wood expands and contracts across the width but not the length. So this long grain piece of cherry here prevents that movement from happening, and the result was again this crack right here, and also that crack right there as the wood tried to shrink and pulled whatever it could with it. I could have avoided that for the chessboard with a little bit more effort in the assembly by gluing these squares together with alternating grain. That would have taken a lot more work, but certainly could have been done. In fact, I could have, in the assembly, I could have glued up a straight grain piece of walnut followed by the ash piece with the grain running in the opposite direction, and then still done the same thing and cut them off on the table saw or radial arm saw and flipped the alternating rows. And that would have had kind of a similar effect as plywood. Each layer of plywood goes in a different direction, but they're thin layers, so they end up restricting movement without causing cracking. And I think I could have done the same thing with this by creating individual squares that had to move or that tried to move independently instead of an entire chessboard. So now you know the rules. Don't restrict the wood's movement over 7 inches of width. You got to find some way to allow it to breathe a little bit and change with the temperature. And if you don't, it's probably going to crack on you. Hopefully this was helpful, and best of luck in your woodworking adventures.